So we have viewers from Clearbrook, Dodge Center, other places who are all concerned about buffer strips, non-compliance fines and fees. This was very much in the news the last couple of days. My sense is that maybe it's an issue that's maybe been resolved or very close to being resolved, but maybe a member of our panel here could advise our viewers what's going on with that and where it stands.
Well, I think we had a joint Senate joint Environment, Natural Resources, and Ag committee meeting on it yesterday. I believe that Bowser, the board, was meeting at roughly 3:30 this afternoon.
And maybe you could tell our viewers exactly what happened, so that we're all up to speed on how we got to where we are.
There was a release during our Easter break about what they refer to as APO, Administrative Penalty Order, that was being offered as a potential fine if you were in violation of the buffer strip ordinance. And actually what it called for was, and it was in very bold, it said the word "not" was capitalized, it was underlined, that this penalty does not apply to only the property that's out of compliance, but also the entirety of the riparian area that is covered. In other words, if you have 1,000 feet of buffer strip requirement along a riparian area and you were out of compliance from 10 foot, technically that says you could get fined for the entire 1,000 feet. And the problems with this were many. Number one, Bowser doesn't have that authority.
Right.
Within the legislation that was passed, there's a maximum penalty of $500. We have given the control for the enforcement of the buffer strip law legislation to the counties. And in a public meeting yesterday, and in a private meeting that I and Senator Westrom had with the director on Tuesday, we were very implicit in our statement that if we had wanted them to have control, we would have given them control. And the control belongs to the county, and they are to quit trying to take it from the counties. And so at the end of the day, as I stated, it was told us the other day that at the board meeting that APO would be withdrawn and that we would not see that again. And I think the public made themselves very clear, as well as the legislators.
And I think the governor has also spoken in favor of that.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on that issue that people want to cover?
Well, I think that one of the points I want to make is that the director of Bowser is a stand-up guy and took full responsibility and basically said, we made a mistake. And you know, I look in the mirror in the morning and I see a guy who also makes some mistakes. And I think it really says a lot about our public servants who will stand up and acknowledge that. They repaired it immediately. And I think the key thing on the buffers, and I live in farm country, is that it's not about penalties. It's not about punishment. It's really about compliance and making sure we're supporting farmers to comply. And they are. 98% of the buffers that currently are required are in. And I think that says a lot about our farmers. I think our farmers are partners in providing clean water, and they've been complying. There's been a lot of give and take about how to do it. I think Representative Torkelson, my neighbor, did a nice job in marshaling that bill through the legislature and making sure that farmers were heard. We've got to continue with that process. But this is towards a cleaner water. Minnesotans want cleaner water, and farmers can be good partners and are good partners in that process, and buffers are part of that.
And Clark, it's good that you mentioned that, because what I didn't see in one of the agencies this year was Minlars stepping up early and admitting there was a mistake. They really made some misplays. They denied it. They defended it for, what, 4 or 5 months. And yet it's nice to hear that when an agency does make a mistake, it's all right to say we're sorry and move on. We're all human. So, and we've been battling that in our Finance Transportation Committee that we both sit on. And I'm getting tired of sitting about that, but it all began because agencies were not willing to stand up and say, you know what, we really did make some mistakes early on, and we could have helped them correct things a lot quicker. So nice to see that they admitted that right away.
All I'll say about that point, Representative Johnson, is that it's good theology, the business about none of us being perfect. So that'll be our theological point for the day.
I would like to follow up on one thing, and Clark mentioned about the compliancy of the farmers, but we still do have an issue out there. And in my profession, I'm a real estate appraiser by trade. And the one thing that nobody ever really wants to talk about, and quite frankly, we do need to talk about it. I recently appraised a short quarter section that is going to be required to have between 4 and 5 acres of buffer strip. And at the end of the day, when I was done with that appraisal, that farm is now worth approximately $25,000 less than it was without that land being occupied by buffer strips. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but in the appraisal business, we consider that inverse condemnation. We have taken people's property without just compensation because they will not be able to put this strip into the CRP program. And I do think that we have violated property rights out there with this law, and I do think at some point we are going to have to stand up, admit that, and deal with it.
But that's not likely to be this session.
Not this session, no.
All right.